What's good, Fin Nation? It's your boy Reason, and I'm riding solo for a little bit here. EM's just a little bit tied up. So until he arrives, it's going to be your boy riding solo. Fins up every day. You know what it is. I want to thank everyone for coming by. I want to give you a brief heads up on what we got coming up. On Friday, we're going to get into mock draft version 1.0. We're going to get into that in the evening time. And then on Monday, we're going to have Jason Sarney on from Fin Maniacs. We're going to talk about some things that are going on right now in terms of rumblings around the league. It's going to be the beginning of the week leading up to the draft. So, there's going to be a lot of news to cover in that sense. Beyond that, we're going to have a mock draft version 2.0 the night before the draft next week. So be on the lookout. We might also try and sneak EM's edge evaluation show where he's going to go over the signings of Kyle Van Noy, Emmanuel Ogbah, and Shaq Lawson and how they fit our scheme, what Flores wants to deploy, all that. So that's what we got coming up over the next little bit. And then working on some interviews, et cetera. Going to keep trying to keep the content flowing for you guys. Tonight we're going to get into the honorable mentions, which is, again, my fancy way of saying 6 through 10 of the safety big board. And then we're going to get into the top 5 guys who I see in this draft. Again, this is talent-based, my boards. The problem is with this one, you're going to see is a couple of guys in the top 3 fit what Flores is going to want to do. It just worked out like that. I don't know what else to say. I really like this one. Guys, this is our last big board because we've identified the quarterback, our future running back, the offensive tackle position, the nose tackle / defensive tackle position, and also the safety as our 5 biggest needs heading into the draft. So that was the theme of the big board. So this is the finale, and I got to say, a part of me loved doing it. A part of me is saying thank God because, guys, I'm just going to take you down. I'm going to show you something right now, and that I wasn't playing around with these, man. These are handwritten evaluations that I see. I translate what I see from tape. I throw some analytics in there to spice it up. But, guys, just to give you a preview, the safety big board tonight was 3,450 words. So, you can't say we ain't out here trying to put the work in. But we love doing it. We love bringing the different content to you guys. Hopefully you all appreciate it. Hopefully you take away something from it. You know what I mean? So, and I think the honorable mentions are really key instead of just doing top 5s because, there's going to be certain positions where they reach deeper in the draft outside of the first round, even outside of the second round. So maybe some of those names that you get familiar with in the honorable mentions or the 6 to 10s end up becoming Miami Dolphins and you know a little bit about them. Whereas in past years, maybe you didn't know much about guys that were going in the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th round. So even the 7th. So, we're just here to inform, and we hope you guys enjoy what you're seeing. So without further ado, up until my partner in crime gets here, the Jason Taylor to my Zach Thomas, I'm going to get into my guys. We're going to do a little different, though, tonight. We're going to go into them, and I'm going to full screen them while I talk about it. And I'm even going to pop up images for 10 to 6 tonight. Just, spice things up. It's the last one. Why not? Live a little. So let's get right into it, guys. Let's close things down here. So let's get into it. The first guy on my list, number 10, is Geno Stone from Iowa. He's a natural deep safety. He's an impressive processor who reads and reacts very well. On a total of 883 coverage snaps over his 3 years at Iowa, he has a 91.8 coverage grade from PFF. Is aggressive enough to lay the big hit, but also patient enough to rarely get caught over pursuing. Has played over 600 of his career snaps at free safety, where he's forced 7 incompletions, picked the ball off 3 times, and allowed only a total of 137 receiving yards. Is rangy with natural instincts that allow his early breaks to usually pay off with him making a play. Plays downhill and welcomes the physicality, doesn't shy away from it. He's agile with great change of direction and contact balance to his game, primarily a zone coverage safety. Hasn't displayed man coverage skills that can make him reliable when called upon because Iowa doesn't run much man coverage, as he only had 31 man coverage snaps this last season. Had a 15.3% missed tackle percentage, which is below the FBS average and not that great. Combine was near disaster for him as he measured with 25.25-inch arms, only 12 bench reps, and a 4.62 40-yard dash. Doesn't have much burst to his game either, and isn't an option playing up on the line of scrimmage because he just isn't strong enough in the upper body. Could play deeper in the slot at the next level, but not ideal for putting in the box. So this is a guy, I like him a lot. I think he's more of a developmental guy. I think he's got a little bit of the foundation you want. Problem is he doesn't fit what we're going to be trying to do because of the man coverage we like to run. So, again, pure talent. I had to have him there. Geno Stone from Iowa. The number 9 guy, though, that we're going to get into, he's someone I like a lot. I guess you could call him like a dark horse for me. And that's Julian Blackmon from Utah. He had a career year in 2019 where he posted an 89.6 overall PFF grade, an 88.7 pass coverage grade, and an 89.8 deep grade, and an 84.3 box grade. Blackmon is a former cornerback turned safety, and it shows in his coverage skills as he has no problem handling the slot or going step for step with tight ends while possessing ball instincts most safeties don't have because of his time over at corner. Only allowed 17 receptions for 200 yards and 1 touchdown while allowing 4 interceptions and 5 passes defended in coverage when called upon as a safety last year, whereas in 2018, when he played outside corner, he allowed 750 yards and 6 touchdowns. You can obviously see why they converted him over. His 6'1", 204-pound frame, along with his 4.46 second 40 speed, give him ideal size and speed for the position, while he's shown the ability to track the ball well downfield while always looking to make a play on it. Plays downhill and loves the physicality, while showed great range as a deep safety last year. Needs to work on his awareness and patience as he can get caught jumping routes early a little too often. Doesn't have the strength to play off the line of scrimmage. It doesn't offer a ton of value against the run. Has to learn to go for the pass breakup instead of getting burnt pinching trying to make the big play. It happened way too often when I watched this film. High ceiling, just needs to be polished more at the position. It could be developed into a legitimate starter with ball hawk tendencies at the next level. This is a guy I like because, like I said, you only saw him play 1 year at safety, and I really think that this guy's going to develop his instincts. And again, I was talking about this with every position. He's got the foundational pieces. I really liked what I saw his 1 year at safety. He was kind of a disaster at cornerback, but going forward, I think this is a guy who, like I said, he can develop into a legitimate starter. He just needs the proper situation, the proper coaching, et cetera, et cetera. So we're going to go into my number 8 guy, and that is Kevon Wallace from Clemson. He's a versatile defender who played 63 snaps at free safety, 208 snaps in the box, and 396 in the slot. Can play off the line of scrimmage well and has shown he's strong enough as he played 40 snaps lined up off scrimmage this past season. A great tackler who only missed 17 tackles in his whole career at Clemson on 171 tackle attempts, who thrives also in blitz packages. 5'11", 206 pounds, built thick, quick feet, and an explosive change of direction. Had 8 forced incompletions, tied for 16th best in the nation. Hasn't posted a PFF overall grade below 80 in each of his 3 years as a starter, including an 84.6 overall PFF grade in 2019. Has decent ball instincts as Wallace had 21 passes broken up, 5 interceptions returned for 180 yards, including 1 return for a touchdown, to go along with 2 sacks and 2 forced fumbles in 1,896 snaps over 59 games, 36 of those which were starts at Clemson. Has shown he's most efficient in press or zone coverage, and he's almost an ideal fit as a dime back. Better than average at reading routes and reacting to them as the receiver breaks. Isn't overly fast with a 4.53 40. It doesn't have great recovery speed as well. Might even get forced to stay in the slot at the next level because of his limitations. Staying with vertical routes proved to be an issue on film with him when I watched him. Again, I think the slot is going to be probably the best translation for him, though, just because, like I said, when he got lit up a few times on vertical routes, and when he's beat, he's beat. That's a problem if they're going to try and go over the top of you, like especially at that position, right? So, but again, he's a big playmaker, man. So I can't really. Again, foundational pieces, man. What else can you really say? So my number 7 guy is Julian Blackman's best friend in the backfield. And that's Terrell Burgess, also from Utah. Another guy people are sleeping on, I think. So Burgess finally got his shot to be a starter this year at Utah as the depth chart in front of him cleared up, and he didn't disappoint as he posted an 85.2 overall PFF grade and the 4th highest coverage grade in college with a 90.4 coverage grade, as he's absolutely stellar in man coverage. Again, think about what Flores wants to run. Great field awareness, processor, and route reader that always leads to him being in the right position, rarely out of it. Has smooth footwork and great change of direction. Allows him to play deep or in the slot. He's quite versatile. Only allowed a 65.6 passer rating against while allowing under 5 yards per target when thrown at, which is very impressive. Reliable tackler who takes good angles more often than not, as he posted 64 solo tackles and 11 tackle assists this season while only having an 11.8% missed tackle rate. Is good at the line of scrimmage, has great foot speed as he posted a 4.4640 to go along with great short area burst proven by his 1.53 second 10-yard split. He hasn't displayed overly great ball instincts as he only had 1 interception this last season. He doesn't have much length to his frame and only has 29.5-inch arms. He needs to add more power to his game, especially for taking on blocks as he gets knocked off balance much easier than you'd like to see. A versatile defender who can play multiple coverage as he lined up for 133 snaps at free safety, 285 snaps in the box, and 272 snaps at the slot corner. At worst, he looks to translate to the next level as a sub-package defender, while at best, he looks like he could be a reliable safety in this league with an elite man coverage skill set. Again, another guy I like. Again, another guy that I really honestly don't think is being talked about enough. He's got a lot of talent. What else can I say? That is a guy who, I'll go from dark horse. I'll call that guy a sleeper. I like him a lot. And then we'll get into my number 6 guy here. So my number 6 guy, you might have heard me talk about him on the other platform multiple times. And that's Kyle Duggar from Lenore Ryan. A safety with an extremely high ceiling. Duggar is such a fascinating prospect because of his solid tackling. 4.49 40 time, 1.52 10-yard split, 42-inch vertical jump, and 11-foot 2-inch broad jump show he has the makeup of an explosive athlete and almost a freak at the safety position. Has a large wingspan and is 32.875-inch arms with the longest of any safety in this class, while also having the biggest hands at 10.375 inches. Was one of the best players at the Senior Bowl and backed it up by being one of the most talked about after the NFL Combine. Had 15 solo tackles and 16 tackle assists across 7 games this year, but he makes every hit count as he's known to lay the wood with his pads. Rangy, with good ball instincts, made 2 interceptions this year, and he's shown a great ability to read and react while utilizing his speed and athleticism to make a play on the ball. Quick feet and good hips allow for him to change direction easily and mirror receivers in this area effectively. Would have liked to see him up against better competition, as sometimes there's man against boys out there. Has shown the ability to be an efficient kick returner too, as Duggar averaged 17.2 yards per return, 31 returns for 534 yards, and scored twice. Also 9 returns, 180 yards, with a 20-yard average on kick returns alone. Needs to work a bit on his footwork, especially his back pedal, as his athleticism and speed at the next level won't allow him to recover as easily as he did in college. He got lost in zone coverage sometimes. Duggar is a 2-time captain at Lenore Ryan. Lenore Ryan, displaying his leadership qualities you'd like to see in a player, and he also has a work ethic to go along with it, according to his coaches. Projects more as a strong safety than a free safety due to his athleticism, but has linebackers traits to him as well. I really believe he can be coached up into a potential impact player in the NFL if put in the right scheme and situation. Again, I mean, I can't say enough good things about this guy. I think this is a project. I don't even want to call him a project. I think this is a guy where, he's a little bit raw, but man, if you coach that out of him, like, I think you have something that is, either in and around the cusp of being a top 10 guy if you can polish him out. I truly believe that, man. The athleticism you see in that guy is freakish, man. And because of that athleticism, he can make up so much from sideline to sideline, even if he's over aggressive, over pursues, whatever the case may be. When you see that kind of speed and athleticism, you can usually make it up pretty quick. But like I said, he is going to have to work on his recovery skills a bit because he can't just depend on his speed and athleticism at the next level, man. He's got to get better at reading and reacting just a touch, for sure. So with that said, guys, we're going to get into my top 5. And it fluctuated. I dove back in. I had already had some of these write-ups done for a minute, and I dove back in, and it ended up fluctuating a couple of people. I won't get into who fluctuated because I don't want to embarrass myself, but I ended up switching some things up, the Grant Delpit stuff. Ooh, the tackling is just a serious issue, people. Serious issue, but he's not number 5, so good for him. So my number 5 guy is Jeremy Chin from Southern Illinois. He's an elite athlete. Jeremy Chin showed up and showed out at the combine, posting a 1.53 second 10-yard split, showing great short burst, a 4.45 second 40-yard dash, a 41-inch vertical jump, and 11.06 broad jump. He's a versatile as a defender too, as 276 of his snaps were at free safety this past season. He played 172 snaps in the box and another 202 in the slot. At 6'3", 221 pounds, Chin has great size and impressive length with 32 1/8 inch arms, is always hustling out there. You always see the motor and the legs churning, allowing him to chase down ball carries consistently or move at a fast-paced downhill to deliver some serious hits. He doesn't shy away from physicality. His speed and agility allows him to cover a lot of space in a short amount of time. Has shown really good ball skills as he had 4 interceptions in 2019 and total of 13 over his career with an 82.4 coverage grade this year. Great defender against the run as he posted an 88.5 run defense grade with PFF for an overall PFF grade of 86.7. He's a great backpedaler with change of direction skills to go along with it, has oily hips. He's a fantastic tackler. Once he wraps you up, it's over, as he only had a 9.3% missed tackle rate, one of the best in this class. Needs to develop in man coverage, especially against NFL caliber tight ends, as mirroring receivers isn't one of his strengths, but he has the speed and athleticism to be coached up in that aspect. Can get caught over pursuing or biting on play action fakes, which he needs to improve on. Doesn't have the best instincts, reacts more than he recognizes, and depends on his speed and athleticism to make up for wrong reads, which won't fly at the next level as much as it did in the FCS. Overall, Jeremy Chin has an extremely high ceiling and a good set of foundational tools with size, speed, athleticism, and ability in the run game, and a ball hawk skills that you would love to see on tape, that he could be groomed into an everyday starter and impact safety in the NFL. Again, this is a guy who just, I didn't have him in my top 5 at the beginning of the year, clearly. And with what he put on tape and then the combine to back it up, I had to put him in that top 5. I like this kid. I like this kid a lot. That's the thing that I learned about really diving into the safety class. It's deep. It's very, very deep. I think it's deeper than people are giving it credit for, because even the raw projects, are good raw projects with a lot of good pieces and traits that you can work with. And even the traits that aren't where they need to be, they've shown, all these guys from 6 to 10 that I had showed flashes that they could be coached up in those traits that need to be coached up. So, I mean, that's a positive, you know what I mean? There's not a lot of, in this safety class, there's not a lot of guys where what you see is what you're going to get at the next level. There's a lot of, like, there's not a lot of low ceilings in this top 10 that I found. And I like that you don't see that very often in classes, especially in top 10, you just start running into ceilings once you get out of the top 5. So, yeah, I like it, man. I see a lot of options for the Dolphins, but yeah, let's get into number 4. And I mean, this might be a little bit controversial, but I mean, I'm just going with what I saw, guys. I'm not trying to step on any toes, especially if there's some LSU fans in the building, because my number 4 guy is Grant Delpit from LSU. So he was the general consensus number 1 safety on a lot of people's preseason safety big boards. Delpit has slipped on most of those boards, including mine, because of major tackling issues he displayed in 2019 and overall a mediocre season amongst a stellar LSU defense all around. He can play deep over the slot or inside the box. He's a big hitter when he lands it, who is also a fantastic blitzer, shoots the gap with ease. Great at reading and recognizing, allows him to make high-end breaks on routes. Reading the quarterback's eyes is also one of his strengths, has shown off good range and ball skills. Mirrors receivers well as he flips his hips so smoothly with good ball instincts to match, which led him to 7 picks, 16 passes defended, and 7 sacks over the last 2 years. Has good contact balance with smooth footwork. Great short area quickness, allowing him to be effective against the pass and run. His 30 and 3/8-inch arms and 74 4/8-inch wingspan at impressive length in the 6'3" frame, allowing him to take on tight ends and bigger receivers across the field. His length also allows him to affect the catch point with receivers even if he's out-leveraged. So he won the Jim Thorpe for the best defensive back last year, but I don't know how he did it with a 25% missed tackle rate, as he literally missed a quarter of his tackle attempts, mainly due to poor form and inadequate wrapping with his arms, wasting the arm length and wingspan he was blessed with in one of the most important aspects of any defender of any defender in any defensive position. It was so bad that Delpit missed at least 1 tackle in every game last season, except for week 1 against Georgia Southern. Does he show really good speed on film? Speedy receivers will pose a problem for him at the next level. Only had a 60.0 run defense grade from PFF this past season, as he doesn't like taking on blocks against the run and will try to go around them rather than through them. Shies away from the physicality with the blocks at the line of scrimmage. Delpit has some elite traits to his game, there's no denying it, but his tackling is a multi-year issue, not a one-year thing. And to me, that severely hurts his evaluation because it's downright ugly at times how easily he slips off of tackles, especially in Brian Flores' scheme where tackling is such a necessity that they made Byron Jones the highest paid corner because he's so good at it. It just stands out as a huge red flag to me on film. All of that said, if he gets that missed tackle rate down closer to 10%, he could be extremely special at the NFL level. So, guys, it's not just with Delpit. The problem is it's not just him taking bad angles. It's poor form and poor technique. You know what I mean? And when you look at his wingspan, you look at his arms, how are you not using that? Well, what's going on? You got to step that up a little bit. And, you know, is there a bigger requirement to be an elite defender at the next level than tackling? You know, elite safeties. Even corners? Okay, the corner. Let's go for a corner. What do you want to do? You want to create tight window throws, right? You want to make it hard for that quarterback and that receiver to manufacture space. You want to make them beat you in tight window throws. Right? And then even if they beat you, what do you want? You want to tackle them right away. You don't want yak. And this is showing you right now that this guy, he's going to get chewed up when it comes to yak with the missed tackles. And I don't want that back there. I'm good. I'm good. And I don't think because of that tackling issue, I don't think he's going to be held in high regard by Brian Flores. I really don't. If I don't hold him in high regard, I have my number 4 because he has so many other good, really good, and some elite traits. But for the majority, that tackling is a huge issue because it doesn't get more important, and there's no bigger aspect to a defender's game than tackling. So yeah, it's rough. It was rough at times, guys. It was really rough to watch him, man. I don't know what to say. I mean, and it's so frustrating because you see again the foundational pieces are off the charts in some places, and then to see that, it's just like mind blowing for me. So my number 3 guy, moving on, is Ashton Davis from Cal. So he's a track star through high school, and even still at Cal as one of the best high hurdlers in the country. Davis used his track scholarship and turned it into becoming a walk-on for the Golden Bears. It's one of the best single high safeties in the class, which was on full display throughout his 2018 tape, where he posted an 88.6 overall grade with PFF, has outstanding range because he was able to transfer his track skills to the football field. Shows great explosion, elite acceleration, and top-end short burst speed on tape, too. Has shown great instincts as when he's been aligned at the single high spot, he's had more combined interceptions and forced incompletions than catches he's allowed against. Has played 409 of his snaps at free safety, 112 as a slot corner, and 120 of those snaps in the box. Though his 6'1", 202-pound frame doesn't make him ideal to play up in the box much at the next level. Very physical when he hits and shrinks throwing lanes over the middle constantly as he locks down the seams without issue. The best in this class at flipping his hips to run and changing directions because his speed is so incredible on tape. His elite speed allows him to have really good recovery ability even if he's over-aggressive or takes a bad angle. What was superb as a kick returner early in his collegiate career, so could contribute to special teams early on as well. He doesn't offer much of that in run. He doesn't offer that much in run support. Tends to over-pursue and take his worst angles when he is in run support. Had a groin surgery at the end of 2019, which caused him to miss the Senior Bowl and not participate in running drills at the Combine, which a lot of us were super excited to see. He needs to improve at shedding blocks as he doesn't take them on all that too well. Ashton Davis is one of my favorite prospects in this class. He's got top-tier speed, acceleration, short area burst, range, and explosiveness, while as an absolute truck of a hitter with really good ball instincts. If he can grow and develop and run support at the next level, I truly believe he can become a top 5 free safety in the NFL one day. And, I mean, you can't deny it, right? When you watch this kid on tape, I mean, it's something special. And I mean, he lays the wood too, guys. I mean, and it must be because of the speed he gets behind it. But you see him, he gets a head start, and it's over for the ball carrier. I mean, he's going to knock him into next Tuesday. And I like this kid, man. I've been preaching him for a while on the other platform. Another thing is, we got the Cal defensive backs coach, Gerald Alexander. He came over to the Miami Dolphins, and, he's done nothing but praise Ashton Davis. And, that seems like it screams a fit to me, doesn't it, guys? I mean, when you got a coach in that room that's probably banging the table for you, and then when you look at his tape, his 2019 tape was good, but his 2018 tape was – and when you got a guy who can back up while he's banging the table for you in the coach's meeting room, screams that he might be a serious option for the Miami Dolphins in the 2020 NFL draft. So let's get into my number 2 guy, a guy who and I want to preface this. My 1, 2, and 3 are really like 1A, 1B, 1C. I like all these top 3 guys, man. It's like the running backs. I would be totally okay with any one of these guys. And I mean, let's tell you why. Let's get in to my number 2 guy, and that is, bring him up for you guys. That is Xavier McKinney from Alabama. So he's another free safety with the potential to be a top 5 guy at the next level. McKinney has elite ball instincts. At free safety, over 246 coverage snaps in the last 2 years, McKinney was responsible for only 2 first downs and intercepted 4 passes and forced 1 incompletion. He has played in the box and in the slot just as much as he's been aligned in 1 high and 2 high looks, showing he's super versatile and you can move him all around. Has fantastic sideline to sideline range, mirrors receivers well, and is a solid tackler. Great awareness to recognize plays before they developed and react in the blink of an eye. Great speed, especially when closing in on ball carriers, so don't let the 4.63 40-yard dash at the combine fool you after he pulled up with a cramp in his calf during his 40-yard dash. He shoots the gap very efficiently as a blitzer with 21 pressures and 71 pass snaps. Was a complete playmaker all over the field for Alabama in 2019 as McKinney had a team-high 95 sacks, 5.5 of those going for a loss. 95 tackles, 5.5 going for a loss, 3 sacks, 3 picks, 5 passes defended, and 4 forced fumbles. Has shown on tape that you can basically ask him to do anything, making him a Swiss Army knife in the secondary at the next level and a coach's best friend that he can depend on. Has quick, fluid feet, great contact balance, and hits with extreme power at times. So Xavier McKinney, he needs to be more consistent getting low rather than coming in high as a tackler, especially in one-on-one situations, as you can see him get beat from time to time on film under those circumstances. He can get over-aggressive in his pursuit of ball carries, and because he's more quick rather than explosive, elusive playmakers can pose a problem for him, even, shifty guys. He should work on his strength to be more useful along the line of scrimmage at the next level, because right now his power, his upper body strength isn't ideal at all. Because of his elite ball skills, his versatility that allows him to be deployed all over the secondary, and his high-level processing ability, Xavier McKinney has so many things going for him and so little going against him that he projects as a potential day 1 impact starter. I mean, I can't say it enough. I love this kid. Absolutely loved what I saw on film. The kid projects to be something special at the next level, man. And, we got the ties, and our defense is very similar to what they deploy at Alabama. And, if you can come away, guys, if you can come away with an Xavier McKinney and another one of these guys in the top 10 and just redo, keep rotation, move Bobby back into the slot. Even I've shown you some of these guys that can go play up in the slot where they can move around in multiple positions. If we come away with 2 of these guys in the top 10, one of these guys in the top 3, and, one of these guys outside the top 3 and even outside the top 5 that have got to develop a little, man, our defense is going to be very, very, very hard. And that secondary against guys like Sam Darnold and Josh Allen and Jarrett Stidham, they're going to eat. They're going to feast. It's going to be a wrap. And, Josh Allen better polish his accuracy issues, because if we got guys like this back there, oh, boy, we're going to have a heyday. Our secondary alone he'll wake up in cold sweats, screaming, Byron Jones! You know what I mean? Like, he'll have nightmares, guys. So I don't know what else to say. I like the potential here to cap off that secondary with one of these guys I've named so far. Man, it looks ideal, man. I don't know what else to say. Like, I'm loving the way our secondary is forming, guys. Byron Jones, a lot of people want to stick to the interceptions. Don't stick to the interceptions, guys. Stick to the tackling. Stick to the responsibilities. That's what they want to see, man. That's why they paid. They paid him $16.5 million because he's an elite tackler. And what Flores is trying to deploy, picks, interceptions, those are nice. Those are pluses. But they want passes defended, sound, quick tackling if the corner gets beat. They don't want a 5-yard or, like a 7-yard, 10-yard throw turning into a 30-yard, 40-yard play, right? You don't want to see that. So I really think I like the way they've lined it. We need to add that cherry on top in the back there and back there at the safety position, right? So let's get into my number one guy. And EM is going to be joining me soon, guys. And he's going to be really sad that he's missing what I'm about to go over right now, because my number one guy is Antoine Winfield Jr. from Minnesota. To me, he's the most dynamic safety in this class, and also the one EM and I warned all of you about rising quickly up people's boards months ago when we did the initial mock draft on TD's platform. He's the son of former stud cornerback Antoine Winfield, who just also happens to be one of Brian Flores' favorite players ever. At 5'9", 203 pounds, Winfield has such a compact, well-built frame that even though his height isn't overly ideal, he can still make it happen. He shined in 2019 at free safety with 4 interceptions and just allowing 1 first down all season. He had 401 total coverage snaps across multiple alignments, yet only gave up a total of 138 yards across all those coverage snaps across all those alignments. Also, arguably one of the most dynamic returners in this class, too. He had the 7th best coverage grade among safeties this season with an 89.2 coverage grade from PFF. You can see his father taught him how to track down ball carries as an absolute truck when he squares up, forcing 2 fumbles this year, and is a consistent tackler, posting 83 total tackles this season, with 11 of those being assists. He had 7 interceptions in 2019, too, displaying great hands and ball instincts, even off tips, deflections, and odd bounces. Winfield Jr. splits routes with ease and is responsible on the back end, which amounts to him being in great position most of the time, which he relies on to make a play instead of jumping routes or reacting overly aggressively. Is great at reading a quarterback's eyes, has good tracking skills, like I said, and a very high football IQ, allowing him to easily identify runs and passes with great understanding of a receiver route concepts and the receiver route tree, both allowing him to get jumps on the ball. Smooth, fluid footwork and a 4.45 second 40 foot speed to match show he has the potential to cover ground even better than what he has done on tape with just a little bit of coaching. He doesn't have the best length for safety, and due to his injuries in 2017 and 2018, there are durability concerns, but the fact that he bounced back the way he did last year may put those to bed. Doesn't have quick twitch feet or a lot of explosiveness in the short area bursts. With his footwork and foot speed, you'd expect him to have elite range, but he hasn't shown it yet. But like I said, the foundation is there for him to improve on it with proper coaching. As long as he can stay healthy and improve his game from sideline to sideline, I don't see why Antoine Winfield Jr. can't be the most complete safety in this class when it's all said and done, even if you would like to see a little bit more length to his frame. He's such a smart player, elite playmaker, and versatile player who has been groomed by his father, a really good player himself back in the day, and the sky is the limit ceiling-wise for Antoine Winfield going forward. So, guys, that's the one I want. Antoine Winfield, to me, like I said, when you watch his tape of him just returning punts, it's disgusting. Like, the guy just weaves through tackles like it's nothing. Sheds tacklers, no problem. And, he's 5'9", but he plays like he's 6'2", 6'3". He doesn't play like he's 5'9". And I really think, man, if he improves his range from sideline to sideline, then he's basically complete, other than the length. But then if he had the length, now we're talking about like legitimately the perfect safety. So nothing in this world is perfect. There's always going to be something. But again, a Flores guy, just based off the connection with the father, I don't think there's really that much of a doubt about it. And I think that this guy right here, Antoine Winfield Jr., I truly believe that is their target. I would not be shocked. And, that's going to sound a lot better if Flores walks up to this podium and says, hey, we're getting the Winfield family, as opposed to when he walked up the podium and said, hey, we're getting the Ginn family. Trust me, guys, that's someone you're going to want moving forward. And, I know Gins had a longer career. He ended up playing better than Brady Quinn for all of us who were not too happy when they made that pick. But that one still stings. Draft memories, man. So I got a couple things we're going to get into in terms of news and rumors. And we're going to wait. EM has specifically asked me to wait before we get into the news and rumors for him. So what I'll probably do is I'm going to jump in. I'm going to see if there's any questions. We'll go over those. We'll wait for EM to stop breaking down more to a film. There's no more you can break down. It's over, EM. He's either coming or he ain't. Chris Foster wants to know, where's EM? Well, EM is actually finishing up a job, so he should be around soon. He literally told me a few minutes ago that he's finishing, so we'll see how that one goes, because I'm only holding it for so long, brother. So Armando says, I heard McKinney doesn't have the best top end speed, which is good for a free safety. Would he be better at strong safety? Yeah, he has shown that he can play in the box. He has the ability to play in the box. So, strong safety, that's probably not going to be an issue. I think, you don't necessarily need top end speed. Like I said, you guys heard me mention it a few times. If you have good recoverability, if you have good football awareness and, you catch yourself over pursuing and you can make up with it with good angles and such, then, there's other ways you can make up with it, like athleticism, et cetera, agility. There are ways you can make up for it with your recovery speed and not having ideal foot speed. I don't know, man. McKinney, to me, again, if this guy was out there running a 4.40, you'd probably be, or a 4.3. This guy would be at the top of my board. Again, no prospect's going to be perfect. Yeah, Armando, I just saw. Yeah, Winfield does remind me of Tyrann Mathieu, like a ton. When I watched it, he is like a honey badger for sure. Not even gonna deny. DraftKings, FanDuel, GPP, Central TV. Our defense is going to rock out, bro. Our division quarterbacks are scared right now, bro. Yeah, the way the secondary is shaping up, for sure. I won't deny that. The thing is, we got Darnold, who's basically being ruined by Gase by the day. And we got Josh Allen. He's kind of got what scares me about Herbert in terms of Josh Allen was put in a position where that team was ready to win right away. They didn't want to give him time. They didn't want to wait to polish his flaws, make his mechanics, get him more accurate with the football. They just put him in there and they said, roll with it. We can win with what your current skill set. And I think that's what's going to hinder him in the long run. I don't think Josh Allen's ever going to turn until he gets those things figured out, And we saw with Tannehill, how long did it take for him to start figuring out? Because, Josh Allen and Justin Herbert are the type of guys where you bring them in and you turn them into one-read guys and you let them learn as they go. And the problem with that, when you have accuracy issues and it doesn't work out very well. The same thing why it doesn't work out if you're not a very good processor. It's not good to learn as you go. Usually it turns out to be an absolute nightmare. I'm not going to name names, but you know where I'm going with that one. Fan of Reason 13 and I got draft beards we can shave after. Yeah, bro. Pull out that razor if they draft Tua live on air. I'm not even lying. Watch me. I shaved today after 9 months. I couldn't take it anymore. Yeah, Rhino. I think it's been since, November for me? December? Wife is not a fan. Wife is definitely not a fan. EM is trying to get backstage, but I guess he's having current problems right now. Armando, I think we have a good chance of getting a top 3 safety. Agreed. You just have to take them at 26 or 39. That's what I've talked about here. Like, what do? You know what I mean? Well, okay, you got to basically decide. So between 26 and 39, you're going to have to take that safety, that running back. But what if a guy like Cesar Ruiz is sitting there? If a guy like Cesar Ruiz is sitting there, you know what I'm saying? That kind of pushes back one of those. And you're probably not going to – you might land one of the top 3 running backs, but you probably won't land one of the top 3 safeties. So, guys, we're going to bring in EM. What's good, brother?
Man, what's going on, homie?
You're on mute.
What's that? Can you hear me?
Can't hear you, brother.
Let me back out. Hang on.
Oh, try again. Yeah, I can hear you. No, I can hear you. Okay. That was my bad. All right, let's just come back in, EM. That was on my bad. Yeah, I can hear you. That was my bad, bro. Sorry.
Oh, what's going on, man?
What's good, bro?
Man, long freaking day. You know how it is sometimes, bro. Man.
Get it in, bro.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I was listening to you, though, while I was working, bro. Phenomenal job as always.
Thank you, brother.
Phenomenal job as always, homie.
Thanks, brother.
One thing y'all should definitely know right now.
I started off, brother. I put up the actual word count. I showed everyone the document and showed 3,450 words to know that, we're out here. We're putting in work, man. So
one thing they should know by now about the homie Reason, he does his research. He definitely does his research for sure.
What did you think about the top 3?
You have to refresh.
Antoine Winfield Jr. at 1, Xavier McKinney at 2, and Ashton Davis at 3, Grant Delpit at 4, and then Jeremy Chin at 5.
Oh, as far as Antoine Wingfield is concerned, I've been banging the table for that gentleman all year, bro. He sits atop my board as well. Who was number 2, you said?
Xavier McKinney.
Okay. You know what, McKinney, I'm concerned about his 40 time. I'm concerned about his long speed playing that single high roll because he tested not good at the combine. I think they clocked him at 4.65, I believe.
Yeah,
that's not fast enough to be.
I think it's 4.62.
That's not. That's definitely not fast enough to play that single high roll. Now, if we were selecting him to play in the box,
which is where I said you basically are probably going to have to play him at the next level.
Yeah. If you're drafting him, but I don't think Miami. Again, I think Eric Rowe, based off the season he had last year, is sufficient, and hopefully he can improve. But I think Eric Rowe is fine there. We just need the glaring holes in that single high roll, or in that perch. Sitting on that perch is like the homie ball game likes to reference.
Yeah.
So
he can play the slot too because he moved all around that Alabama defense. So
I'm concerned of him playing covering wide receivers with that 4.6 speed, bro.
His problem was if I bring it up here a sec, I'm pretty sure it was him. I'm pretty sure. Hold on a sec. He was he had a 4.63, but he pulled up with a calf cramp, bro.
Oh, did he really?
He's the one that pulled up with the calf cramp during his 40, and then he had to stay out of the rest of the drills. So that's why I said in my evaluation, so don't let great speed, especially when closing in on ball carriers. So don't let the 4.63 40-yard dash at the combine fool you after he pulled up with a cramp in his calf. So that's the thing. You got so I can't take that. And from what I've seen on film, he's not a 4.6 guy.
Okay. Well, I didn't know that I didn't know he pulled up lame during his 40 testing. But with that being said, I'm going to still have to see, a significant improvement. For me, to have him, high on my board as far as us selecting a free safety. Yeah. So, but no, he's definitely not he's definitely not in my top three. Who's your third one? Jeremy Chin?
Ashton Davis.
No, Ashton Davis. Yeah. Man, I hate the fact that these guys didn't test at the combine, because you remember some streams back.
Yeah, but he had groin surgery. That's why he missed the senior. Okay. That's why he missed. I think it was the Shrine game or the Senior Bowl. He missed that too. Ashton Davis.
He's a hell of an athlete for sure. He might be the best athlete.
He's one of the best hurdlers because he was a hurdler at Cal, and he's actually one of the best hurdlers in the country at the collegiate level.
Yeah. He might be the overall in terms of speed. He might be the best athlete out of well.
And he's a big time. He's a big time hitter. Yeah, I didn't put Isaiah Simmons on this because I have him as a linebacker, hybrid safety.
He doesn't have a defined position at this point. So
yeah, that's why I didn't put. If I would put him on number one on my linebacker. He'd go on my linebacker. I didn't put him at safety.
But yeah, absolutely, Ashton Davis. He might be the best athlete out of the quote unquote safeties.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was eagerly anticipating his, how he tested at the combine, but obviously he didn't. For whatever reason, you can make that happen. So, but I just think in terms of film, in terms of combine workout, in terms of character issues, I just think Antoine Winfield is the cleanest prospect out of all of them. He blew the combine up, and you see that combine speed translate on the field. You see it. He's done it all year long. He's the most instinctive safety, I think. Always around the football, extremely versatile. He was deployed in the slot, on a bound, and again, he's a converted cornerback. He added weight, and I think he's like 205 to 208ish. I think
203.
And, is he 203? Okay.
Yeah.
445, 443 speed, sideline to sideline speed. I just think.
Well, that's the actual one area in his game that he needs to improve. He's not that great from sideline to sideline.
Man, I don't know. According to whose evaluation?
Bro, he's not that great from sideline to sideline.
Man, you are. Again, I don't know what evaluation. I don't know what tape. Whose ever evaluation that was. I don't know what tape they're watching, because that kid, he is always around the football. Always.
Yeah, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's sideline to sideline.
I mean, I don't understand it. I mean, when you talk about range for a safety, that's what that means.
I know. I 110% know, bro, what range means. I mean, you should have listened to it. Obviously, you didn't listen to the evaluation, bro. That's the thing, because he doesn't have, he doesn't have quick twitch feet. He doesn't have a lot of explosiveness in the short area burst. And like I said, with his footwork and foot speed, you expect him to have elite range, but he hasn't shown it yet. But he has the foundation is there for him to prove on it. And then when I say at the end here, as long as he can stay healthy and improve his game from sideline to sideline, I don't see why Antoine Winfield can't be the most complete safety in this class.
Well, for the record, I'm
like Isaiah Simmons is sideline to sideline, and there's a couple guys in here that have, like, Ashton Davis is sideline to sideline.
Simmons is he's a faster athlete.
I'm just saying he's better sideline to sideline, is all I'm saying. Antoine Winfield a lot of his big plays did not come from, sideline to sideline. They were more like reading, not overreacting, letting it develop and make it a play. Yeah, I know. I know that's what you want, but I'm saying he's not a sideline to sideline guy.
For the record, I emphatically disagree with that. He
had 4.45 second. He had 4.45 40. He wasn't 4.43.
That's plenty speed. Plenty of speed. You want generally safeties running the 4.5s, and some of them run. Rashad Jones was like 4.55, I think, when he tested. So that's plenty of speed.
And McKinney, if you watch the tape, McKinney is 4.5. He's not mid 4.4s, but he's 4.5.
Xavier McKinney?
Yeah.
Yeah. But Antoine Winfield, in my opinion. I just think he's the cleanest. He's the cleanest at all of
Well,
them.
he's got durability. I mean, he did have injuries too, right?
Yeah,
in 2017 and 2018. So he's got to put those doubts to rest because
I agree with that. But his overall game, in my opinion, I think he just fits. And we don't even want to talk. I heard you were talking about Xavier McKinney's issues as far as him shying away from the physicality. You don't have that problem with this player at all. He sticks his nose in there and he takes on blocks. He does not shy away from the physicality. So he's interchangeable. You can put him in a box because he's physical, because of his.
No, I didn't say that about McKinney. I just said his power at the line isn't ideal. A guy who like Grant Delpit is who I said. I said he doesn't like taking on blocks against the run. He'll try to go around them rather than through them.
Was that McKinney or Delpit?
That was Delpit.
Okay, yeah. Yeah,
McKinney's good at the line of scrimmage. He doesn't have the ideal upper body strength. That's all McKinney doesn't have.
No. Well, yeah, Delpit. We talked about that several times about his issues.
Dude, Delpit was a 60. He had a 60 run defense grade this year.
Yeah. He's
bro. Did you hear that? He has a 20. Did you hear my evaluation? He has a 25% missed tackle rate. He literally missed a quarter of his tackle attempts.
Well, my comp was. Rashad Jones with tackling issues, but I guess I really am insulting Rashad when I'm making that comparison according to your according to those statistics.
But bro, if he gets that missed tackle rate down to like I think the lowest in this class is 9.3, and it's either I think it's Chin or Duggar, one of those two. I named it, and if he gets down to around 10, then he's got enough traits where he could be for real. But I mean, the tackling issues, especially if you have those kind of tackling issues at the collegiate level, what are you going to have to do with bigger, stronger, faster guys?
I saw he ran well. If it turns out that it's the 40 time that they clocked him in is accurate, I saw him at his proto the other day, and he clocked in at like a 4.38 or 4.39 or something like that.
Yo, did you see the memes were going around about pro days because all of a sudden everyone runs a 4.5 at pro day and everyone's running a 4.28. Exactly. Everyone's running a 4.28 at the pro day.
Exactly.
Bro.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. If that turns out to be accurate, he's a lot.
Bro, the only one I believe is Ashton Davis because we already know how fast he is. So
did he test though? Ashton Davis?
No, he didn't test because he was recovering from a groin injury.
No, I'm talking about. Did he have a pro day?
Oh, I don't know. Actually, I didn't look into that.
Okay. Well, yeah, I know he didn't test at the combine. Yeah. I thought maybe he, he tested at a pro day or something like that. But yeah.
And you got and the Gerald Alexander tie with Ashton Davis too can't be dismissed. Right?
Did you you hadn't gotten to the news yet, has you? Have you?
No, I haven't. I'm waiting for you, bro. I was taking questions.
Very good.
Yeah, they did not have a pro day. It was canceled.
That's concerning for a lot of teams. I tell you, this is not I don't envy a lot of these scouts, man, because a lot of these kids can't work out, and these scouts, they can't get their hands on them. First account, they're relying on second and third hand information. It's a tough year for the scouting department, man. I don't envy any of them.
Well, and Ashton Davis, his pro day being canceled, the thing is a lot of people were so anticipating watching him at the combine. So
yeah, I was too, man. This kid, and you see his track speed on tape as well. You see his track speed show up on tape consistently. So but we'll see, man.
So let's get in. You want to get into this news? Absolutely,
man. Absolutely.
We'll cover this, guys, quickly, and we'll handle some questions after at the end. So we'll start off with the lighter one, and then we'll go into the bigger name. So apparently, according to Michael Lombardi of The Athletic, O.J. Howard is reportedly being shopped by the Buccaneers.
Oh,
now this is a guy that me and EM have talked about before on the other platform. I mean, you want to talk about foundational traits and pieces that can lead to an explosive top 5 player at his position. OJ Howard definitely has him, in my opinion. Are you surprised? Because I'm surprised by this in terms of Tom Brady. If you had him and Cameron Brate, that's the best duo he's had since Gronk and Hernandez. Isn't that kind of surprising to you?
I agree, man. I don't know why they're so eager to trade this specimen. I don't understand. Man, I don't know what's going on in Tampa. I just don't understand. I know he had issues last year, but I've heard a lot of different people's opinions about he might not be a fit in Bruce Arians' offense. How Bruce Arians, in the past, at past teams that he's coached in, he doesn't prioritize the tight end as much as a lot of teams do. But this kid, man, I mean, his athleticism is like, man, it's off the charts. This kid could be like, I mean, he could easily be the most athletic tight end in the NFL. And you have that kind of talent at your disposal. I mean, why wouldn't you implement a piece like that into what you're doing? Because it can only enhance, the overall. It just enhances everything, because where he goes, he's taking coverage with him. And that just opens everything else up, creates space for everybody else within the confines of your scheme.
And the thing is, too, EM, this year, he's in a contract year. This is his last year. He only has he only has a $3.5 million cap hit.
Well, okay. Well, that he's in a contract year. They might not be. Again, Bruce Arians in previous stops that he's been at, he doesn't prioritize the tight end, and then they might be sitting there thinking like, well, he's got trade value. He's got very good trade value. So they're sitting there thinking like, if he doesn't prioritize the tight end, he's like, well, we might as well trade him and get something for him, because we're not going to meet his demands in terms of contract. So that could be the reason why. But I was sitting there thinking, I was like, I just don't understand, because we heard this same rumor at the beginning of last year. Remember, I think we talked about that on TD Stream. This same rumor, we were like, man, please Miami make that happen. But anyway, if I'm Miami, I'm taking a flyer on him. You pair him with Mike Gesicki? Oh, man. It's crazy production. Crazy. And this kid here he's good in the run as well. He's not just a glorified, a glorified wide receiver playing tight end. No, this kid is a legitimate tight end. Very good in the run game, and his athleticism is off the charts. So you pair him with Mike Gesicki, that's like a Rob Gronkowski, Aaron Hernandez comparison, legitimate.
And you're not gonna find a better tight end even close to him in this year's draft, I think. I mean, you could go Chase Claypool, but you're gonna have to convert him from wide receiver.
Yeah,
and
we saw.
I mean, he does remind me of Evan Ingram, Chase Claypool, but give me this guy who's been in the league for how many years? He's been in the league for years now. The other thing is too, the way he's been utilized, he doesn't have a lot of wear and tear on his body.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
He's got a lot of mileage on those tires, man. And like you said, my thing with going out and getting a guy like this is you're helping whatever quarterback you draft. You're giving that guy another legitimate weapon, but a guy, because of his blocking game, he can stay in there for 3 downs. He's not going to be like Gesicki. We're going to rotate him till he becomes a better blocker. You know what I mean?
They can live and eat out of that 12 personnel package. Well, can you imagine that? Oh, man. Because from a matchup standpoint, if you have what I mean by 12 personnel, I mean 2 wide receivers and 2 tight ends for people that might not know. But because of the athleticism that he brings to the table, as well as Mike Gesicki, it's going to be difficult for teams to put linebackers on him. So to counter them, the opposing defense is going to have to put a safety or just a defensive back in terms of coverage. And once teams do that, they become smaller up front, which enhances the run. Enhances our ability to run the football because they have lighter lighter individuals, in their defense. So it's like pick your poison. What do you do? So they could literally, and then you have him 6'5", you have Gesicki 6'5", you got Preston Williams 6'5", Javante Parker 6'3", 6'4". And that's a basketball team, and all of them can run. All of them can run and separate. All of them. So that would be, that would be ideal. With the exception of drafting Tua Tagovailoa and DeAndre Swift, that would be my favorite move. This offseason. Oh my God!
Why you gotta make me feel all teased and happy? Yeah.
I hear you, man.
I mean, I can't agree more. I think I've liked this guy since he came out. I just can't believe he hasn't been utilized by Bruce Arians. And I get what you're saying. I know that's his history where tight ends don't really feast in his sets, but the fact that kind of talent is just sitting there, just aging.
Yeah, I know, right? Now in terms of compensation, what would you be willing to part ways with for this talent?
I'll give you a second.
I would too, bro. I would too.
Am I going to find a better talent than that in a second? You got to ask yourself that. Definitely not going to find a better tight end in the second.
Man. Yeah, man.
So, guys, there is a rumor going on today, and it was reported by Mark Malusis. So, as I reported this morning on EMdolphinfan, sources told me that the Browns and the Vikings are in discussions on a trade that would send Odell Beckham Jr. to the Vikings for a 2nd and a 5th round pick next year. Trade is not done, but the deal is being discussed. Now, a few hours later, Mary Kay Cabot received a one-word answer from a source close to the Vikings about the report that they're talking to the Browns about trading for OBJ for 2nd and a 5th as false. But Colin Cowherd said this, and this is what I would take to the bank. The same source that gave me Tom Brady to Tampa Bay just texted me, Odell Beckham Jr. wants out. So, two things. One, has the damage been so done in that relationship because the trade rumors have lingered since last year? And two, is he another case where it's only a 2nd and a 5th, EM? Is that another case where you could go out and give whatever quarterback you're going to draft another weapon? Because if you add, I want people to think about it. Yeah, they're all big, but if the top 3 of your receiving chart are Williams, Parker, and OBJ, oh boy. Okay? Oh boy, that's all I'm going to say.
Pairing him, because one thing I'll say about, I'm not the biggest Odell Beckham fan. Okay. But you can't deny the kid's talent. He's extremely versatile.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of his character either, just for the record.
He's extremely versatile. He can line up at any position within the formation, slot, boundary, backfield. He can do it all. But Odell, I think, considering, I know he had some he was hurt a little bit, he was a little dinged up last year. But I still think he's a very good player, and he has, he's not old or anything like that. He's got years left, and he can still be productive. But I just think his off the field issues, it's always some drama with him. Always. I don't want that kind of personality in our locker room. You know what I mean? Especially with a young team, and I just think his off the field issues, I'm not blaming him 100% for all of them. I don't know what happened in New York. I don't know what's going on in Cleveland. But I just think his off the field issues are outweighing slowly. And if you're going off last year, his overall impact on that team and his lack of production included, and on top of that, he's starting to get banged up. It outweighs that too much, and I don't want that. And then on top of that, he's got a big contract as well. I don't want that in my locker room. I'm sorry. It's intriguing, definitely intriguing, but I'm gonna have to pass if I'm Brian Flores.
Hmm. Wow. The pass. Yeah, I don't. I don't mind. It's
I'd
just so
rather
cheap. It's
I'd
just
rather
so
make
cheap.
I'd rather make the investment on OJ Howard.
Oh, for sure. But my thing is too. What if Preston's not the same guy after the tear?
And he won't be immediately because generally an ACL injury, it takes a year in terms of rehabilitation to get back on the field, and it takes another year for you to get to regain your explosiveness and your overall athleticism where you were prior to the injury. So he won't be immediately, but again, we saw the emergence of Devontae Parker last year, the true number one. And again, if you get an OJ Howard again, oh man, that'll definitely help. But no, with that being said, bro, and he's expensive. So no, I'm sorry. Sorry, OBJ. No,
So
I'm passing
EM,
on
we're
you, bro.
picking at 39. Swift is there, or one of your top 5 defensive tackles? What are you doing?
I'm going DeAndre Swift. I'm going DeAndre Swift.
All day, every day?
Oh yeah, I think this kid has immense potential. I'm telling you, man, he he is comparable, and I'm not saying he's Christian McCaffrey. I'm not saying that, but he has that exact same skill set. He has that exact same skill set of him. Now, again, I don't think Miami he'll be that big, as big of a part of the offense as Christian McCaffrey is with the Carolina Panthers, which is why you see those inflated numbers. But oh yeah, this kid, I'm telling you, man, I am 100% all in on him. I would even at 26 if he's sitting there, I would be sitting there sweating. My hands would be sweating. I would even be tempted to pull the trigger at 26, or even I told you before, maybe even at 18. Maybe even at I think this kid has that kind of ability. I really do. And I think whoever gets him, hopefully it's Miami, they're gonna have a future Pro Bowl Pro Bowl running back. His skill set is undeniable. Y'all need to go and watch that. Y'all need to watch more tape. Get in that film room. I'm telling you, this kid has got something. He's got it.
Yeah, you're really high on DeAndre, huh?
I'm telling you, the more tape I watch of him, bro, I'm just like telling you, I think he's just the most complete. He gives you elements of every running back in this draft. He can play the power game. He can put his head down, get skinny, find creases, get in between the tackles. Obviously, he's got the ability to bounce it either side and make a big play out of nothing. And once he gets in the open field, I mean, he's electric. And this kid actually runs wide receiver routes, how they used him at Georgia. He actually runs wide receiver routes. And I'm not just talking about slants. I'm not talking about swing routes. I'm talking about comebacks. You know what I mean? In routes, out routes, now I'm not saying the whole route tree, but I've seen the way they deployed him at Georgia. This kid, I think he has big time potential. And I'm hoping he's one of the players that I must have if I'm in that war room. He's one of the players that I
So
must have.
who's your must-haves? Tua, Winfield Jr. and DeAndre?
Oh yeah, we go there, and I'm leaning more towards Cesar Ruiz as well. He's sliding in my top 5 must-haves, bro. I'm telling you.
I like him a lot.
We get that tackle at 18, and we could get either a safety or DeAndre Swift at 26 and trade. We might have to. I don't think either one of them slide to 39. We might have to trade. Might have to trade back up. But I'm selecting those 3 and Ruiz because I think if we get the left tackle at 18 or wherever, and you slide Ruiz in at center and kick Karras to guard or vice versa, I think I think we're good. I think we're good in that happens.
Rhino asks, does Gailey value the tight end?
Something, that's a good question because I was thinking about that earlier and I started to research, but I haven't come up with anything definitive yet. I was wondering the exact same thing. That's a good question, Rhino.
Yeah, I haven't looked into that. I would have to go
I,
back and look at where he was offensive coordinator, and then you got to go look at the tight ends that were there at the time, how they produced, how they were used, et cetera, et cetera.
yeah,
He runs something very similar to what Alabama runs. So, I mean, O.J. Howard made his name at Alabama, so I definitely think Chan Gailey could find a way to utilize O.J. Howard for sure.
Well, one thing I will say about Chan Gailey in terms of his concepts, is very diverse. He's not a stickler to one type of, philosophy. He incorporates a lot of different things, just like at Alabama.
So Quentin Riddle says, basically, what do we think about Laviska Shenault Jr. to replace Albert Wilson?
I'm not. We talked about this before. I'm not high on Shenault.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not high on him for where you'd have to draft him. That's my issue. You're gonna have to take that guy in the second or third. But yeah, I'm not that high on him for that. I like how his elusiveness and how he breaks tackles. That's for sure.
I don't see his game necessarily translating in that slot role, that Julian Edelman role. You need players that can cut good short area quickness. I don't see that burst in his game. Just not high on him. Just not high on him at all.
He looks more like a running back when he's carrying the ball too. You know what I mean?
He reminds me of Leonte Carew, to be honest with you. He reminds me a lot of.
Don't say that name. Don't say that name around
here. Just call it how I see it, bro. I could be wrong. I'm just saying my evaluation based on at this point, I'm just not high on him.
Rhino says that he thinks X is the player you throw in if you want to move up in the first round from 18.
I don't want to do that. I'm on the record. I want to get at least 1 year with Xavier Howard and Byron Jones, if for nothing else, for my Madden game. But I want to see them at least 1 year together, and I want to see, I want to see them two playing together. I'm doing my best to hang on to Xavier Howard. Next year is the year to move off of him. So not this year. So I'm trying. But Kyle, if they do ask,
go ahead. Go ahead.
If he is a requirement in the negotiations for us to get from 5 to 3, and that minimizes our in terms of draft value we have to give up, I would definitely entertain that. But I'm trying my best to hang on to Xavier Howard.
So I'm going to bring this up, and you give your opinion. Kyle Burks, do you think all the Herbert talk is smoke?
That's a very good question as well. I don't know who to believe, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. In regards to Herbert, I really don't know who to believe. People that I trust are flip flopping. That I normally trust over the years, they're flip flopping. They're saying one day, sources are telling them this. The next day, they're changing the stories where sources have told them that. But I will say one thing: they have been consistent that Tua is the number one target. But in terms of the interest in Herbert, it's coming from everywhere. So I don't know who to believe.
So you guys have heard me. I don't know if you guys have heard me, and I've said this to EM privately. I think Herbert's a smokescreen for the contingency plan. I think Herbert is either they're trying to make someone stay pat so they don't have to move up for Tua, or I think Herbert is being used where if someone really wants him, you're going to have to trade up, which is not going to happen, so they can lock down Tua. My thing is I think he's a contingency plan for Jordan Love. I think Jordan Love is legitimately the contingency plan, and I think Herbert is the smoke for that. Now, what I want to show you guys is from Matt Canada over at Pro Football Network, and he tweeted this a couple of days ago, and I found this very interesting because this is what I've been saying. He said, we've heard so much about the Dolphins, Burrow, Herbert, Tua over at Pro Football Network, but have purposely held off on reporting anything. There's just way too much smoke to be confident about anything right now. There's one name we haven't heard much, Jordan Love. Coincidence? Now, I always go back to when we talk about the other platform in terms of who TD's talked to and his source. Go beyond that. Jordan Love was the first quarterback that they got in there and scheduled a private meeting with. Jordan Love had a virtual meeting. Jordan Love on his Instagram live yesterday kind of has slipped up about the Dolphins and had a lot of Dolphin fans wondering if he's legitimately an option going forward, because he was doing an interview and he was asked about teams he's met with and done and ran through certain things with, and the only team he could remember off the top of his head was the Miami Dolphins.
That could be smoke too, though.
I think he's the contingency plan. I think if they don't want a mortgage for Tua, they don't want a mortgage for anyone. They don't want a mortgage. They love Joe Burrow. They love Tua. They don't want a mortgage for them. And if some team ends up mortgaging their future for to move up for Tua, I legitimately think that's their contingency plan, and that's why you haven't heard his name very much. But for all the things he's been in the process, it makes no sense that we haven't heard his name as much as the other guys. That's the thing.
I don't think a smoke screen is needed for Jordan Love. No team.
Buddy, I keep telling you. I told you. After the combine, Jordan Love left Herbert on a lot of people's boards, man. That, I was hearing that. I've seen that after the combine happened, man. And, Herbert, I think, is being, man, that's why you've seen certain mocks where right before all of a sudden this Herbert to Dolphins thing, I was seeing mocks where he was slipping to the 20s. Which isn't going to happen, but.
I mean, and again, at this point, anything is up in the air. They're all possibilities. But, we talked about this earlier privately. I was listening to Phinside radio earlier, and or was that yesterday? Yesterday. And they were talking about where there is legitimate, according to what they're being told, that there's legitimate interest in Herbert. It's his physical traits, his ability, his upside. Now they consider him a developmental project. It's like pretty much 98.9% of every player that goes into the NFL draft. But there's legitimate interest in him. There's
legitimate interest in all four.
Right. But this is what I'm going to tell you. This is what they did say. I can't believe I forgot this as well. But they did say that they were told that Greer, when Tannenbaum was the GM, he's the one that was so enamored.
It was the one who initiated. Herbert. Yeah, that was the one who initiated the scouting in 2018. Was Tannenbaum. Right. That's why Tannenbaum's still going out on the airwaves and preaching this guy's name because he wants to be right. And that's the thing. Doesn't it scare all you people that would be listening to Mike Tannenbaum? Come on. No. You're trusting Mike Tannenbaum? Like, Jesus.
Reason, listen. They said that they were told that Greer was the only one pushing back on this Herbert evaluation to Mike Tannenbaum.
Tua.
They said that they were told, but there is still, people.
Yeah, because there's going to be people in the room that like his athleticism.
Right.
For sure.
But the consensus seems to be Tua. They love Joe Burrow, but obviously they don't want to mortgage, their whole draft to move up to one. But they do still love Tua. It's just they're concerned about, obviously, the durability, quote unquote, issues.
So Scotty Joe asks, can Ruiz start this year? Yeah, man, you could kick him at the guard or hold him at center. Yeah, he's got the size for sure. And I keep telling you guys, another name you guys got to keep up on is Matt Hennessy from Temple. Guys are really good, man.
Because see, you look at Eric McCoy from St. Louis. That kid had a Pro Bowl level St. Louis, New Orleans, when they selected him in the second round last year, and that kid had almost a Pro Bowl level year. And I think Ruiz is a much better prospect than what he was coming out last year. So absolutely, we can get immediate production from him if we are able to get him.
And would you take him at 26 if he's sitting there, or would you wait till get him in the second?
It just depends who's available at that point. If DeAndre Swift is sitting there, if
Winfield
is sitting there, no, I'm not taking him over those guys. But it just depends on what's available. I would consider it. Depends on what who's available.
So he's a guy you're gonna try to get him in the third round. Basically.
Oh, I'm gonna prioritize him in the first two rounds. I'm going to prioritize him some way, either trade back into the second round and get a second round pick, or again, if those two players now, again, it just depends on who's available. I would consider selecting him there. It just depends on who's available.
Like, do you really think he's gonna he's even gonna be there at like say 56? Because I don't.
You don't think so?
No, I don't. I could see him sneaking into the back end of the first or the top of the second for sure. So that's just where I'm at with him.
Maybe.
So Tyler asks, what do you think about Dolphins possibly drafting Lynn Bowden Jr.? Seen this guy? Yeah. Out of Kentucky.
That gadget guy.
Yeah, he's going to be going in the fourth or fifth. Like, he's kind of like a running back when he gets the ball in his hands. You know what I mean?
I don't.
He lined up everywhere. He lined up in the slot. He lined up outside. He lined up in the backfield. But bro, he is so shifty, bro. Like, he absolutely makes linebackers look ridiculous in open space. But he had 48 broken tackles on 166 designed runs in 2019.
I hadn't seen much tape on him.
Yeah, he's not a great route runner. Like that's the thing. Like, and he's not going to be a downfield threat. So he's going to be he's going to be a gadget guy. He's not going to, he's never going to be a primary receiver.
Antoine Randall type guy.
Exactly. That was the comp I was literally about to give with the guy. Oh, look at this. And we were talking about this earlier. Douglas Anderson says, would rather Ruggs than Judy. Actually, Douglas, we are, at least I know I am. I'm in agreement with you, bro. I think Henry Ruggs is the most complete. He's a burner. You can line him outside. You can line him in the slot. And although his route running isn't as crisp as Jerry Jeudy, it's better than CeeDee Lamb's. It's pretty damn good. I think Henry Ruggs, man, you know what? It would not shock me if Henry Ruggs was the first receiver off the board.
Yeah.
It wouldn't.
I'm hearing a lot of conversation. A lot of teams are quietly high on him. They're trying to keep it quiet, but there are pick from like 7 to I've heard like 5 or 6 teams that are quietly picking from 7 to like 20 that are extremely high on Ruggs. I like both of them. I just, I'm with Reason. I'm with you as well. I prefer Ruggs because of that top end speed. Again, wherever he goes, he's taking the coverage with him. So again, he could have, if you're talking about implementing him into what we like to do, see, we don't have a player with that kind of raw speed. We have Jakeem Grant, but he's a gadget guy. He's not a legitimate wide receiver in my opinion. Yeah. And Albert Wilson is fast, but he's not. This dude, he's not that fast. He's not in that. This guy is like in the Tyreek Hill realm of speed, and we see the impact that he has when on the overall impact of Kansas City's offense. Wherever he goes, he's dictating coverage, and I see Henry Ruggs immediately coming into the NFL and providing that for a team. Mm-hmm. I would definitely entertain him in the first round. And you know what, bro?
I would like. He's not going to be there. But if they skipped out on a tackle at 18 and took Henry Ruggs, I actually wouldn't be mad. Like, I'd be like, okay, go get your left tackle. Right. Your left tackle at 20. Go get Josh Jones at 26. And then into the second round, third round, go get one of those right tackles I named on my big board. You'll be fine. Go get a Lucas Niang.
Let me ask you this, Reason. Is it a possibility Miami, because I keep hearing a lot of this conversation about Trent Williams, from Washington. What if Miami were to send a late round pick to them and he can be a stop? He can be a short-term solution.
Give them one of our 3 fifths.
Yeah, 1 or 2 years tops, right?
And then Penei Sewell next year.
Exactly.
I wouldn't mind it. He's a seasoned guy. He knows what he's doing. Stick him there. He's a healthier version of what Brandon Albert was.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw how that worked out.
And you can legitimately go all offense in the first
round. What would we also be doing, EM? We would be putting Trent Williams next to Eric Flowers.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yep.
So
get rid of. You can go. You can legitimately go all offense in the first round, and even the second. To be honest with you.
So Kyle Burks asked, do you think we trade up from 18 to take a tackle in the top 10? So Kyle, I have heard that they fielded calls. I've reported this multiple times that they fielded calls on the 26th. And the thing is, they fielded calls on the 18th, but that's the one pick that they don't want to trade. I've heard that they want to do exactly what you just suggested if one of their guys drops closer to the 10 mark. What do you think about doing that, EM?
Yeah, I think they want to hang on to that. That's a sweet spot, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That's a sweet spot, and I think they want to hang on to it for, it might not. They just want to hang on. It just gives you a lot of flexibility at that point. So I think they might even feel, like you said, they might even feel trade offers. You know what I mean? For a team to jump up and go there. It just gives them options sitting there at 18. They can sit pat because I'm a firm believer that one of those top tier talent tackles are going to slide. Two of them. I think two of them are going to slide. You see that every year in the draft. So, and then again, they're sitting there at 18. Man, you can just imagine the trade offers they're going to get from teams. So it just gives the Miami Dolphins options at that point. So yeah, if I'm them, I'm hanging on to that 18 pick for dear life.
So Powerhouse asked, Reason, can you tell who do you think? Basically, he's asking who we think we're going to draft with our first 5 picks. I can't give you names because the board's going to fall as it may. And there's going to be picks in the first, in the middle there where we're going to be like scratching our head. Let's just hope it's not from us. It happens every year. And I will say, if you want me to put money down on what they're going to draft in the first 5 picks, safe bet for me would be quarterback, 2 offensive linemen, a safety, and a running back. To me, that would be the safest bet on their first 5 picks.
I agree with that.
Again, it's going to be how the board falls, right? Like they say, let the board fall as it may.
It's always how the board falls.
Exactly. Powerhouse then asked, do you think we draft 2 QBs this year, EM? Because we've had this conversation. Because I personally am down, Powerhouse. Go get me Tua, and go get me James Morgan in the 5th. And I'm happier. I'm happy. I like that backup plan, man.
Did you see Brian's big board in terms of his quarterback rankings? He had Morgan. He had Herbert 1, and he had Morgan 2. Burrow 3, Tua 4.
4. Chris Sims had 2 at 4 too, right?
I almost dropped my phone when I saw that, bro. I can't wait till we get him back on the show. Oh, man. Bro, I don't know what he's smoking. Where was he at, in Colorado? That must be some good stuff, man. But no, I'm kidding, Brian, if you listen, bro.
Troy, I agree, bro. But I do like James Morgan a lot, man.
I definitely want an explanation. Want an explanation.
I got the draft guide. I got his draft guide if you want me to show you his explanation. So Troy Ortiz came in late. Did you guys talk about Duggar? Yeah, I did. I went through the top 10 by myself. EM joined the stream a little bit late. Duggar was my 6th guy. So you can either go back right now and watch it, or you can wait after the stream is done and the video is processed and uploaded to YouTube. You can go back and check it out. But yeah, I had Duggar at 6. Go check the evaluation because that is a kid I'm actually really excited about. I think he has a very, very, very high ceiling. So we're going to get into Troy then asked, why would Washington take only a 5th in a trade for tackle Trent Williams? The problem is, buddy, with what's going on right now, you've seen a shift in the last year in the NFL in terms of teams aren't wanting – the reason why a trade hasn't happened right now is because Washington's asking for a 1st or a 2nd. And people are already saying that they don't want to – Trent wants to become one of the higher paid left tackles. So a lot of teams who don't have a ton of draft capital but need a left tackle don't want to give up big time draft capital assets and then invest big time financial assets. And I believe he's 32 or 31 EM. It's like 32 or 31.
I think he's 31.
Yeah, and then ask me to invest 15, 16, 17 million in a 31-year-old. That's asking a lot. Like you saw Quentin Dunbar. Didn't Quentin Dunbar get traded for a fifth?
He did.
And Quentin Dunbar had the second highest PFF coverage grade and overall grade last year. Quentin Dunbar had a career year, and he went for a fifth. Why? Because he had to get paid.
Mm-hmm.
So it's changed a lot, guys. Yeah, go ahead.
I saw first was their initial asking price, but they've since they came down significantly off that initial asking price. So I think, to be honest with you, I think he'd probably be had for a fourth. To be honest with you, because he's not coming back. He's already made that perfectly clear. So, but I would entertain that scenario because, again, reason it gives you, if you sign a player like him, okay, a short-term solution, 1-2 years tops, okay. You have Albert Wilson's $10.5 million cap hit staring you in the face. Cut him, give him a little more, just to make him happy. And again, that gives you so much flexibility in terms of the.
Can you hear me?
I think I can hear you. Yep. You're good.
Yeah.
So Aquavision, why can't we donate to the stream? Because we can't activate the super chat until 1,000 subscribers. But I am going to set up a PayPal because, guys, we are creeping in on passing the free allotted time given to you monthly by StreamYard. We are at, including right now, I think we're at about 14 hours, and they only give you about 20, and it resets on April 20th, April 19th. So definitely going to be buying one of the premium packages moving forward because the content's just going to get bigger and bigger. And with us taking your questions now, it is going to take longer and longer. But I mean, if you really want to donate, you can hit me up at Phinside, the NFL at gmail.com. And we can work out some kind of PayPal thing. I will get the Phinside, the NFL PayPal set up until we get the super chat rolling for you guys. Anything you guys donate is going to go straight back into, the thumbnails you guys see every time, the banners. I actually pay someone to do those thumbnails and that banner and everything for me. So I'm going to look into getting an intro video done too. So yeah, any money that comes our way is just going to get invested right back into the stream so we can just keep giving you guys content, keep the ball rolling and stuff like that. So Nico, 8 days away from the draft, excited but nervous, brother. The anxiety is real over on this side, man. I mean, the amount of times EM said to me, I just want to go to bed and wake up and it be the draft. I mean, it's crazy. I think a lot of us are starting to feel that anxiety, man, because the thing is a lot of us are recognizing things that are smoke screens, but we're still letting smoke screens get to us because it's draft season. You don't know what to believe. You don't know, even legitimate sources or, legitimate outlets and analysts and reporters and bloggers, they get fed misinformation, especially. I think it's real, man. I think these guys want to get Tua Tagovailoa and not give up any capital. They want to come out. They want to come out with a quarterback, a future franchise quarterback, but also looking like the smartest team in the draft. And that's hard to accomplish. Can they accomplish it? I mean, that remains to be seen. What do you think, EM? We're only 8 days away from the draft. Nico says he's excited, but he's nervous.
I agree 100%. I just want to go to sleep. I said this months ago. I just want to go to sleep and just wake me up the morning of the draft. Draft day. But yeah, man, it's close. It seems like we've been waiting on this draft for 10 years, bro. It can't get here soon enough. And but yeah, it's a lot of smoke screens, a lot of misinformation, purposely being projected out there in the NFL world for obvious reasons. But I just, again, I still think at the end of the day, come April 23rd, they are going to select Tua Tagovailoa. I just think again, I know his hip and the durability issues are concerned, but the kid's tape, I can't emphasize that much. It's too good to not risk it. It's too good. It'd be one thing if he was a wide receiver, linebacker, running back, something like that. That a collision-based position. The NFL, everything is designed to protect the quarterback, everything. And if you can get I was listening to Omar Kelly, and he said, I was listening to him today, and he said he was on the Joe Rose show, I believe, and he said Joe Rose is like TD. He calls him glass, and he's been saying all these, making fun of him or whatnot, and not necessarily making fun of him. He just thinks he's too injury prone, and we all know how much Omar Kelly loves Tua Tagovailoa. I think he might even love Tua more than us, I think. But he said if you get a healthy 8 to 10 years out of Tua Tagovailoa, okay, he said first off, every quarterback is going to get banged up. Every quarterback at some point. They get banged up. That's just the nature of the position. But he said if you can get 8 to 10 years, and this dude turns out to be a Pro Bowl caliber player.
What have I been saying, EM? Have I not been saying give me 10 years?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's my whole thing.
Would you not say that's worth the risk?
Yes.
Would you not say it's worth the investment? I mean, this kid's tape, and again, it all goes back to the tape. This kid's tape, he does things with the football. His distribution of the football is like top 5 level right now. He hadn't even stepped foot on an NFL franchise, NFL field yet. It's that good. And again, not saying he's a finished product, not saying he doesn't need refinement. But I'm just saying the valuation, the tape is too good for Miami not to take the risk, especially when you have the surplus of resources in terms of draft capital. That's why you amass this kind of capital to take risks like this. You know what I mean? You got 14 draft picks. If they mess this up, Flores, Greer, bro, I've never seen, again, we talked about this privately, I've never seen a team go into an offseason with the amount of surplus of resources, obviously, during free agency of salary cap space, and then in addition to draft capital. For the next 2 years, we control the NFL draft. Man, I will be shocked if they don't get this right. And the first step that they can make, that they potentially can make, of like messing this whole thing up, is not getting that quarterback right this year. And in my opinion,
dude, you didn't amass all this capital to not get your quarterback.
You have to get him. You have, and again, I don't love Herbert. I don't love Jordan Love. I think they're excellent. They're, as far as their physical traits, they're good consolation prizes. But again, you have that guy sitting there. That man, it's like, again, his tape is too good. It's too good. They have to get this right. They have to.
So Antoine Jefferson says if they get 2 at 5, I think they trade back into the top 10 to get Wirfs or Wills. 39 would be enough. I guess he's meaning 39 with 18. Yeah, man, I think the right tackle becomes all of a sudden a priority, especially if Tua is going to live up his word and be ready to go day one. And just based off the fact that you can get that right tackle season for 1 year, even if Tua isn't ready to, even if you don't have to play him this season. But at the same token, if Fitz gets hurt, and we're 5-1, you really want to throw out Josh Rosen or Jake Reddick out there when you got Tua Tagovailoa sitting there? We all know how that's going to go. Whether you want to or not, we all know how that situation is going to go. So I do think the right tackle is a priority. I don't see – so far, I haven't delved deep into the right tackle class next year, but I don't see a freak like Wirfs, and I don't know if I see someone as polished as Wills. But, I mean, we'll see.
See, if you make that Trent Williams trade, there'll be no need to trade back up into the, well, you said if
he's
they
left,
select Tua, the right tackle.
Yeah.
But again, I'm coming from the standpoint of Tua's not playing this year. He'll be redshirt.
Yeah.
So next year, the right tackle position will be prioritized.
I just don't think – I haven't seen a right tackle yet like Wirfs or Wills in next year's class. So Pete's Autos says Morgan over Eason. I mean, for me, I had Eason at 5, but if you're going to ask me as a GM, would I rather draft Eason in the second round or draft Tua and then Morgan as my backup plan, then I would go with Tua with Morgan. Eason, he's good. He has obviously a bazooka. He's really good over the intermediate part of the field. He's pretty accurate, Problem is that accuracy becomes a disaster zone when he faces pressure. And I will give him all the credit in the world because he stands up like a man. He doesn't shy away from the pressure. He'll stand upright in the pocket and take the hit. It's just you can tell he sees ghosts.
I hear Tampa Bay is high on him.
Yeah, I've heard that they want to target him with their second-round pick.
Yeah.
So Chris Foster says, I think we should draft Marlon Davidson. What do you think?
I have no idea who that is.
Oh, the defensive edge / interior from Auburn. He's going to be more of an. He would be more of a. He would be more. You'd have to convert him basically outside into the in the 3-4. He really doesn't fit what we're trying to run.
He projects. He projects to the edge? Is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's weird. He's finicky. Like, it's finicky, man. Like, he is legitimately suited for a 4-3.
I have no idea who that is, though.
Yeah, check him out. He's all right.
Sorry, bro.
Oh yeah, he's good. He's good. Okay,
I think in terms of edge, I think in terms of edge players, we all know how high I am on Yatir Gross-Matos, and I've been hearing a lot of conversation about Flores is high on this kid as well. But I mean, you're gonna have to get him in the first round. I definitely don't see him sliding. But I think we're good as far as edge players. I really do, bro. I think the additions through free agency, and I'm telling you, I'm high on Trent Harris. If we recall, he flashed last year, the last 3 games when they started him, and again, I think he's worth a further further investment. And also Jonathan Ledbetter as well. People forget how he flashed in the preseason, and he was inserted into that starting lineup last year before he got hurt in that first game against Baltimore. I know the coaching staff they are really, really high on him. So in terms of what we acquired in free agency in the overall depth at that position, I think we're good, man. This is what I think we need, though. We have a lot of players that are similar profiled and that are of a similar profile in terms of their athleticism. I think we need a guy that is more of a quick twitch speed guy, because we don't have a guy on our roster that fits that profile. I don't think.
See, I'm where Rhino's at though with the whole quarterback position. Look at this. I'm tired of safe. I want the risk plan this time. We take Long instead of Matt Ryan. We take Culpepper instead of Breeze. Safe has done nothing for us. Amen, bro.
I agree.
Preach the gospel.
Chad Henne, we played it safe with Chad Henne.
Oh,
man.
Don't say that name on the stream.
Played it safe with giving a second-round pick for Josh Rosen. Playing it safe. I agree 100%. I can't believe I've agreed with two questions with Rhino. Man, something must be going on. Something must be happening, because we generally don't see eye to eye on on our team. So
Sharif West says scenario: Tua does not fall to 5, so we take Wirfs at 5, Love at 18, Ezra Cleveland at 26. I don't like the Ezra Cleveland pick. I think that's too high.
I agree.
Way too high. DraftKings, FanDuel, GPP, Central TV. What if we trade the 26th, the Pats, for Joe Thuney?
No. For what? We just signed Eric Flowers. Then you have to pay him. They franchised him. Can you hear me?
No, I can hear you. Yep.
Okay. Then they franchised him. So no, I'm not doing that.
We'll get one more question in here, guys. We're getting past the 11 o'clock hour. So Shamari McGee asks, what do you think about TD talking about X last night?
I listened for literally for 38 seconds, and I quickly turned the stream off. I'm just being honest, bro. And I will address that on the next episode of TD Foolish Talk. I guarantee you. But no, I didn't listen to it long, bro.
So Troy Ortiz says, if we don't take two, I'm going to be bummed. My night will be ruined no matter what else we do.
He said what now?
He said, if we don't take two, I'm going to be bummed. My night will be ruined no matter what else we do.
Oh, yeah.
I think EM's in that club, brother.
Hey, you should have heard, when I was listening to Phinside radio, you should have heard Josh House. Oh, my God. He was like, man, I'm telling you right now, if Tua is available at 5 and they pass on him for any player, he said, oh, my God, bro, I am tossing my TV out of the window.
Dude.
He said, I'm telling you that right now.
I think one of those troll users, the one who's EMdolphin's baby mama, he was in TD's stream yesterday, and he was trying to get TD's attention, and he was like, oh, did you see Reason on his last Big Board show where he was crying about Tua? Yo, that ain't crying. That's telling you that I'm sick of settling. I want the best prospect in the draft at that position. I'm sick of settling in that position because, like Rhino just alluded to, in all those instances we settled. How has that worked out? Because we're sitting here 20 years later without the heir apparent to Dan Marino.
I agree. And again, we're not necessarily looking for the. I heard TD. I'm not necessarily looking for the next quote unquote Dan Marino. I'm looking for an efficient quarterback, okay, that exhibits all of the traits that you need to be successful. Very good on third down, judicious with the football, accurate to all three levels of the field consistently. Again, if Tua comes in and he doesn't put up Dan Marino like gaudy stats, I'm good with that. Just be efficient. That's all I want. And again, I'm just this kid, like I said, I'm sick of settling as well. Sick of settling as well. I want a quarterback that, again, has the ability. I don't want.
Like, I'll be honest with you guys, and I'll say this, and I've told EM this directly. I even think to the point, EM, I think he's a part of him with the whole Herbert thing. It's a piece of him knowing that he might have to settle.
Yeah.
That's what I truly think with EM. He wants Tua, and he likes Herbert, but he knows if it's Herbert, we're settling. And the thing is, I think it's just embedded in you, EM, that's what we're used to with this franchise. Settling. That's why I'm so enamored with Jordan Love, because I know we probably might settle for him. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. We both have our guys that we basically have enamored ourselves with, because the realistic possibility is of these guys either settling or being too afraid, even though the evaluation says take the risk.
Yeah, man. Tua just exhibits from a film standpoint, anything that you want your quarterback to do, he can do it. He has elite physical traits. I mean, it's just too much. He checks too many boxes. And again, I understand the durability issues. Maybe in any other year where Miami didn't have the surplus of draft capital to where they can absorb a potential quote unquote, if he busts out or whatnot. Okay, I get it. There's a possibility any player could bust out, but you have the surplus.
I'll be right back. Rock it for a sec. I'll be right back.
Okay. You have the surplus of capital. You have the resources to take, to take risks this year. And yeah, I'm sick of settling as well. They just need to, they just need to pony up and make it happen. Period. So hang on, y'all. Hang on 1 second. Let me pull pull the stream up so I can take some questions.
So Aquavision asks, Tua and Simmons on board. Who is Miami taking?
Tua.
I got a good one here. Ryan said something that we've been trying to tell everyone. Check this out. So Rhino obviously he took some inspiration. I've been hitting the Tua film, and yeah, it's scary how fast he reads defenses. It is scary beyond amazing. Yeah. That guy goes from his first to his fourth read in a split second. And that's what we keep trying to tell you guys. Don't listen. I'm going to tell you right now, and this is no respect to anyone. When you talk about that panel over there, I'll tell you right now, Ball Game has been sharpening his tool, has been sharpening and watching a lot of Tua film as well. I'll tell you guys all right now, no one over there has watched more film than me or EM on Tua Tagovailoa over on that panel. And Rhino, what you're saying is what we've been trying to tell.
Spot on.
But the problem is you got people taking small sample sizes, and you can't do that. And his ability to manipulate eyes with his safeties and to manipulate corners and safeties with his eyes, that's next level transferable skills, man.
And you know what reason I think, and damn, I can't believe I'm reading. That's the third statement that I'm agreeing with right on tonight. I think that his vision in terms of to be able to survey the field so fast and process that information so fast, that might be his most valuable trait, especially moving forward to the next level. And, Brian referenced that on when he came on the show. He said at times Tua is so fast, he's like a fraction of a second in terms of reading the play, deciphering what the defense is doing. He gets it. Sometimes it turns out to be a problem because he's so fast in that area.
And so he plays fast. He plays faster than the play develops.
And that's what you want. You can scale. You could, I don't anticipate that being an issue in the next level, but that might be his best attribute. It might be.
So Powerhouse asked if Okudah and Tua are there at 5, who do we take? Same thing, brother. I think it's going to be Tua. I love Okudah. I have him as one of my top players in this draft, but the problem is Tua to me is the top quarterback in this draft, and franchise quarterbacks like him don't come around very often if he can stay healthy.
It's Tua for me as well. I'm not that high on Okudah.
So Jeff Wilson says, didn't the panel say because of the cap we can't sign all of our draft picks? No, we have over $22 million, and it's going to cost around 19 million to sign all of our draft picks, so we're not worried about that at all. Rhino also said TD doesn't want to say hey EM and reason you were right.
Oh, absolutely. He'll never do that. At least publicly he won't. So it's all good though. That's the homie.
Pete's right Auto, Tua or Lawrence, you must pick. So I would go today, Lawrence because of the durability question. That's the only reason why I would ever take Lawrence today over Tua. But if you're looking at whose game I like better as of today, I think Tua has shown he can play better under pressure in the pocket than what Trevor Lawrence displayed against LSU.
I agree 100%.
I think Tua's game is more polished than where Trevor is at right now.
And I don't even know. I'm not going to say. I'm just going to say I don't even know. I don't even know if Trevor Lawrence can even get to that point, at least on a collegiate level, to where, like he has another year. He's a sophomore. He needs refinement. I just think Tua's, in terms of his ability to distribute the football accurately, I haven't seen all the years I've been watching college football. All the years I have never seen a player at this point, making that the leap to the NFL. I haven't seen a player with Tua's ability in all the years I've been watching college football. I just haven't seen it.
So Powerhouse asks, EM, when do you think we make the Super Bowl again?
Oh, man, bro.
And hi, Matthew.
I'm going to be TD for a minute. Next year, bro. What are you talking about? Next year. No, I think realistically, you know what? In terms of projecting when we could be, in the Super Bowl next, this year is going to be huge for me because we're going to get, not just me, but everybody, all the Dolphin fan base, we're going to get an idea on how they are about evaluating and selecting talent in the draft. So this year, we can use this year as a barometer of hopefully in a positive way of what's coming next year and the year after. If they hit on this draft 50%, if they hit 40% of their draft picks this year, next year, they are going to be in. Most importantly, if they get the quarterback position right, they are going to be a legitimate contender moving forward.
So Infinite Trauma said, I'm tired of mediocrity. Tua would get us out of it. Agreed, brother.
100%.
Willie Muse says, man, Tua's ability to throw his wide receivers open and his vision to see the field is next level. Get him, book it.
Yes,
Bro, agreed.
yes.
That's the one thing with slants. People tried to rip on him for having these receivers and throwing 8-yard slants that bust into 6-yard touchdowns. Bro, that's because these burners, he's throwing them open. Like, that's the one thing. If you look at Tua and you look at Joe Burrow on the slants, Joe Burrow, I've said this before, I said the evaluation, I've said on streams, when you break down his film, you get into problems with slants with Joe Burrow. You know, he'll either miss behind, the ball won't be in front of them in stride, it'll be low, he'll totally miss over their head. He doesn't have that zip to zing it in there, to hit them in stride, to keep them going. And Tua has that, man. And what people don't realize is this slant is one of the most used routes at the next level.
Exactly.
And Tua throws arguably one of the best slants I've ever seen on film.
He gets out of bed throwing slants every morning, bro. He gets that literally. So yeah, he's his ability to distribute the football is next level, definitely, for sure.
So,
now y'all are coming around. Now they're coming around to see what we've been saying for 2 years, but especially this year. Now they're coming, and that's good. That's very good, because I see that not just us, but I'm sure they listen. You know, I'm not sitting up here saying that, you know, I'm Mel Kiper Jr. or anybody like that.
Yeah,
but I'm just glad a lot of the fan base is waking up to noticing the talent. You know what I mean? And we're not even we hadn't even talked about the off the field opportunities that this kid is going to bring to hopefully to our team, our culture in that city. So, but yeah, I'm just glad a lot of the Dolphins fans, they're waking up. They're not listening to people just sitting up that don't watch film. You know what I mean? Just regurgitating what they hear. They hear somebody else on TV saying. They're actually getting in the film room and they're discovering and seeing the talent for what this kid is. And that's the most positive in terms of the Dolphin fan base. I'm even seeing a lot of that, a lot of less hate, even on, Twitter and Facebook and even Instagram. A lot of people are waking up. They're seeing this kid. They're not listening to people so much, but they're digging into the film themselves. You know what I mean? And they're learning like, damn, we might have been sleeping on this kid all year. And a lot of people have. So that's encouraging to see. People are noticing the talent, the skill level. It's I'm telling you, it's next level. But again, he still has, listen, for the record, I want to put this out there as well. He still has to put the work in, okay? My evaluation on Tua Tagovailoa is based off what I saw him do in college. Once he gets to the next level, that's irrelevant. It's up to him. He has to continue to put the work in. But his character and everything about him off the field suggests that won't be an issue. But again, he could get to the next level and bust out. My evaluation is based on what he put on film during his career at Alabama. So he still has work to do. He's got to put his head down, bring his lunch pail, and get to work, just like anybody. So,
and that's one of his strengths, his work ethic, and also his ability to learn and be like a sponge. I mean, I've said this before. We've said this before. Don't take it lightly when the word is out there that this guy memorized an offensive playbook in one night. And that was coming out of high school, going into college. So, I mean, that's impressive.
He's an impressive kid.
Guys, I want you to smash that like button if you haven't. Subscribe if you haven't. It's 11:20 p.m. We've been going for 2 hours and 3 minutes. We're going to get out of here right now. EM, is there any last things you want to say before we call it a night?
Man, just want to thank everybody for coming out again. Appreciate the support, from everybody. And again, man, looking forward to that draft. I tell you, man, it's here, bro. It is here, and just can't wait, man. And yeah, man, just appreciate everybody. And hands up all day, every day.
Yeah, I want to say thank you so much, guys. I mean, our peak tonight, I think it was 71 viewers at one time watching live. We've hovered in the 60s steadily, and we've seen an increase. We've gone from no one to the teens to the 20s, all the way up to the jumping to the 50s on our last one, and now we're going up to the 70s. And I love to see it, man. I like to see all of you guys in the comments. You know, you guys are just as big of a part of this as we are. We hope you guys enjoy what we're bringing to you. I know Aquavision asked about donations. If you guys want to donate until we get I'll have the PayPal set up for next stream. Super Chat will be available when we hit 1,000 subscribers. Also, at 1,000 subscribers, we are going to be doing a giveaway. So share, tell your friends, let's get more subscribers up so we can give you guys an opportunity to win something. But if you want to make a donation, hit us up at phinsidethenfl@gmail.com. We can work something out there until our next stream. Friday night, we are going to be going live again with mock draft version 1.0. Monday, we're going to have Jason Sarney on, and he's going to be discussing what's going on in the league, because news is going to be heavy next week. Sorry. EM, yo, you got to mute that, brother.
My bad, bro.
And then we're going to have Jason Sarney from Fin Maniacs on Monday. And we'll just be, going over news rumblings and talk about his thoughts coming up on the draft. Might have an announcement regarding Phinside the NFL and Fin Maniacs going on at that time too. We still got some things to iron out with them. And then, like I said, Thursday is the draft. Wednesday night, the night before the draft, we're going to do mock draft version 2.0. So be prepared. We're going to try and get 2 mocks in this Friday, next Wednesday. Also, we're going to try and squeeze in somewhere right in there EM's show about the edge evaluation signings of Kyle Van Noy, Emmanuel Ogba, and Shaq Moss. So we got content coming, guys. So we appreciate you guys all sticking around. I hope everyone has a good night. Like, subscribe if you can. Hit up the email if you want to donate. PayPal will be set up next stream. Other than that, fins up, and I hope all y'all have a blessed night. Stay healthy and stay safe, guys.
Fins up all day, every day, gentlemen.
Peace out, boys.